Welcome to massive open online course on chemical process intensification. So, this is introduction about the chemical process intensification. As you know that in our daily life there are several products that we are getting from market. So, those products are actually being produced based on different processes. Those process may be of chemical engineering process, mechanical engineering process, or some products that are directly and indirectly related to the biochemical engineering process. And all those processes have some pros and cons based on their performance. Now, in that case you will see that some process which are developed to produce this different types of products may be different disadvantages based on its that product output. Even the mechanism of the process, because of which more energy is required to produce. We will see some of the process that requires more policy based, and so in that case you have to have the output of the process that is mass of acceptable in range, and those process may not be actually eco-friendly and not sustainable in that case. There are several processes those are being actually performed without actually considering the environmental policy. Those are considered that is not actually sustainable in process. Those process may not be lasting for several years. You know that because of some environmental effect on social families, so that those process may not be acceptable further for consideration of producing different products. So, in that aspect now question is coming, then how to actually we produce those products based on some sustainable process techniques, and those techniques will be considered in such a way that, or designed in such a way that we can get eco-friendly and sustainable process and also the development of the social impact on that particular aspect. So, let us first consider here one example how that process can be intensified based on its some disadvantage or cons. Let us see here there is a process to produce or suppose remove the carbon dioxide gas from the atmosphere, and earlier stage you will see there will be a transfer of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through the liquid medium. That process was followed. Now, this process, like that whenever gas is supplied through the liquid medium, you have to produce some surface area. Now, that surface area may not be intensive as for its what is that output, that is the removal efficiency. Like suppose when carbon dioxide gas is supplied from the bottom of a column in the core region, whereas in the wall of the column, if liquid is supplied or flowing downward adjacent to the wall. So, in that case you will see the gas and liquid, there will be interfacial area. So, that interfacial area will be actually main governing factor for the transfer of carbon dioxide gas or gas to the liquid medium through the interface. Now, this is that is very old process. In that case you may not get that that much of intensified that much of interfacial area to transfer this carbon dioxide to the liquid medium. Now, later on you will see as a process intensification how to produce more surface area, so that we can get more transfer of the carbon dioxide from this gaseous mixtures to the liquid phase. So, based on which there is a design of bubble column reactor. So, in that case you will see that whenever gas is supplied in the liquid medium as a dispersed phase of bubbles, you will see there are various there are that swarm of bubbles will be produced and producing interfacial area instead of simple just contacting of gas and liquid in a column. And in that case you will see whenever gas is dispersed from the distributor as a dispersed phase of bubbles in the liquid phase, you will see there are n number of bubbles, there will be huge number of bubbles will be produced. Now, so whatever volume of gas is supplied through the distributor, the bubbles will be more. So, more bubbles will produce more interfacial area. So, in that case more mass transfer, that means more carbon dioxide gas will be transferred from the atmosphere to the liquid. Now, if I say that other process, there will be suppose extraction process, liquid liquid extraction. Suppose if you want to remove some propionic acid from the liquid, where in textile industry, even other some industry, there propionic acid is coming out in the effluent, that you have to actually remove those propionic acid. Now, you have to extract that propionic acid from the liquid by some other organic liquid, like if you use some decanol. Now, that decanol is actually miscible in water. So, in that case if you produce decanol droplet, only decanol droplet that produce that surface area, through the surface area that propionic acid will be transferred from that liquid phase to the decanol. So, this is the process by which you can intensify the mass transfer or you can say that the extraction process based on this concept. There are several other concepts are available also to intensify the process nowadays. Those are actually carried out, even some commercialization process also there, based on which they are doing research to get more intensified process and getting more intensified way of products by sustainable development. So, in this lecture let us start here with some history, brief history and some philosophy and the concept of the process intensification. So, if we consider that in the early stage there what exactly that why that process intensification terms has come here, because there a huge demand to get the more products in the society, and for which there will be certain technology that products is coming. Now, if you intensify that technology, you can get more products and to fulfill that more demand in that case. So, in that case you have to develop the or design the process in a sustainable way so that you can get more products in the market with intensified way, and also by consuming less energy and eco-friendly in the society. And that is why this process intensification actually are gaining importance in more greener and profitable and eco-friendly process in the industry. So, in that case you have to know what will be the different methods and how to do that intensification. There are several ways to do the intensification, like that in industry generally nowadays are being done for just reducing the that process equipment, even reducing the that energy by reducing the that time, that is very less time, how can within a very less time you can get more products also, that is one way. And other aspects like in that case that space is very important here. Now, macro to micro, then nano is coming, even development of different catalyst or materials in the market by process intensification process from macro to nano, and getting more process development in sustainable way. So, these are the main things. So, in present time you can say one of the most demanding trends in chemical engineering and process technology for this process intensification, and by which you can get the eco-friendly and sustainable process to develop more greener product. Now, let us see the beginning of that process here. The word that intensive actually first originate in the 15th century at the earlier stage, that is the time of peak of that Renaissance in 15th century. So, in that period actually Georgius Agricola actually published one book, and where actually it was rich in description of different metallurgical process, and he described the old process of metallurgy by which that they can extract different materials from the that lesser materials or ores that is available. So, that is not eco-friendly, that that those process like gold extraction by mercury. So, that mercury process, everybody knows that this process of extraction of gold by mercury is not the eco-friendly, and it is not being now used in the present technology to produce this gold from the ore by this mercury. And for that there are several way now intensify those process to extract that gold from the ore. And from then onward, that is 1556, from that book actually the word is coming intensive, and Georgius Agricola, he has explained that how to actually intensify the process of different chemical engineering and mining process by which you can get the product and in sustainable way, and also eco-friendly with consuming less energy there. So, the concept is coming from that period only. After that, that on the dawn of the third millennium, at that time you will see for the chemical engineering processing, main heart of the chemical engineering processing to mix the two fluids or more than two fluids to get the reaction in presence of catalyst and getting a product. So, in that case you will see it was required to mix the fluids to get that reaction at a particular temperature and pressure. So, in that case they have used some series of reactor, that is called stir tank reactor. So, in that case some mechanical device was used to actually mix the fluids to actually do that reaction. So, for continuous operation they have used that series of stir tank reactor to operate those process or producing that product. And after that what happened, they have realized that there is a mixing, though it will intensify the that is reaction process, but there is disadvantage that sometimes it will hinder the process yield because of back mixing. So, based on that concept, later on some intensification idea has come that how to reduce that back mixing. So, to produce that plug flow model, so that the molecules, that is fluid molecules, will not get that is back mixed with the initial molecules there which is supplied. So, that concept is developed to produce that plug flow in a channel, and that channel if we are using that larger channel, that will not be effective, because again there will be a radial distribution of the fluid particle, and because of which that yield may be reduced. So, they have actually just convert that larger channels to the narrow channels to the then micro channels to the then that nano channel. Now, to get that plug flow in the channel, you will see that only there will be a contact of that fluid in the narrow channels and getting the more interfacial area, and also that for continuous operation it will take even less time to get the faster reactions there. So, they have actually tried to replace that star tank to the that micro channel reactor, that is called micro reactor, sometimes it is represented. And later on what about, they have also other idea, like that static mixture, how to mix that the fluid in a static way, like in the inlet and outlet should be, there will be no back mixing of that fluid by the static mixture. Here it is shown in this picture that how the static mixture, that is mechanical provisions are produced, by which you can produce some that fluid mixing intensified way, and this static mixture, how that mixing of these two fluids and getting the reaction there. So this is the idea that in 20th century it was actually started, that starting to the that static mixture. And after that you will see that this all technological leap was achieved by improvement of the stirring, and that by leaving that mechanical stirring equipment as a method of mixing fluids there, and this reveals one of the most important features of the process intensification, and then onward it has actually counting. And the changes it brings the drastic in nature and revolutionary, even you can say that it will be rather than the evolutionary change of that process techniques to get it sustainable way. And also you will see these terms, the process intensification, that is started to appear in the mid 1960s and early 70s, mostly in East European publications it has been seen, and it was actually regarding the metallurgical processing what they have published in East European different publication journal they have published. And all their publications, it was noted that this process intensification word they have represented as a process development, and it was going on till that 20th century, and the first chemical industry oriented articles also they have used the same word for this process development instead of process intensification. So it was in that period like that process development, but nowadays it is used, it is a simple word, that is process intensification. This word is mostly acceptable instead of process improvement process. Now if we say that what will be that birth of the process intensification as a chemical engineering discipline, that actually came several years later in the United Kingdom. So they were the actually king for that process intensification process, because they have actually reported several research works that is published in 1983, mainly by Colin Ramshaw from the ICI's new science group. He has published several works regarding this process intensification in chemical engineering process, and he described the application of that centrifugal force, how it can be used for for distillation process. So that is new actually idea has come from his publication, that conventional distillation process can be intensified by the centrifugal action, parallelly the adsorption after just treatment of crude that crude oil, and then to be adsorbed different contaminants in a a certain adsorbent, and he has used that centrifugal force how to adsorb those particles there, and those processes are actually represented as a Haigh process there from then onward in 1983. After few months, that the annual research meeting that was regarded as process intensification was held at UMIST, that in Manchester, that Higgs reported that they are in a conference, and the first paper that was presented in the conference was about the that processing of gold ore by a process intensification. So from then onward, that how this that mercury, use of mercury for the gold extraction is not being used as a process intensification. According to the report by that process engineering London, after that is 5 years, that 1988, that early 1990s process intensification was mainly a British discipline that I told that they were king about this, and was focused primarily on 4 areas. like use of centrifugal forces, compact heat transfer, even that intensive mixing, and that the combined technologies, how actually the process can be done in a combination of the two process in a single unit. So, combining the technologies, even the that making a channel in a compact heat transfer equipment, and also the centrifugal force how to use for intensify the process, even the mixing intensity of the mixing, how it can be that improved, that has been actually reported earlier in 1988, that is a report by process engineers in London. So, from then onward the idea is open to all chemical engineering process, that how to intensify the process to get the sustainable design for the greener products. Some remarkable research centers also from then onward it was built in different countries, like that how to intensify the reactions in a micro reactor and in a microstructure reactor, to get more contact between the fluids, so that the reactions will be fast, even where the slow reactions are required, that retention to be increased there. So, in that case they have actually modified the reactor in different way. They have used different structure inside the reactor, sometimes internal, sometimes some packed materials, even packed materials would be sometimes that structured, made it structured so that the fluid, whenever it will be flowing through that porous structure, it will get more contact and more retention time inside the reactor. So, in that direction research on the structured reactors in Delft University of Technology, Holland, they have started, and they have actually brought those technology in massive stage, and in different industries they have actually used for their technology in commercialized stage. So, they have that done the research on structured reactors in Delft University, and they have collaborated with the industry like DSM Fine Chemicals, and that industry, that is DSM company, they have used those technology to produce fine chemicals based on that microstructure reactor concept. And Holland also research and development centers, they have developed to do the research on centrifugal adsorption process, how to intensify the chemical processes to adsorb the contaminant on the solid particles as an intensified way. So, in Holland also they have started this research from then onward. And extensive studies on concept how to develop the heat transfer phenomena, and how to utilize that heat transfer phenomena in a sustainable development for the that heat exchange equipment. So, they have done several research in the research centers in generally that in France they have a lead actually organization to do this extensive studies on compact heat transfer equipment there in Gratien Institute, France. So, they have developed that compact heat exchange equipment, and it was really a that sustainable development for this heat exchange mechanism. And also research on microtechnology, that is flourished in Institute for Microtechnik Mainz in Germany. They have done also lot of research on this microtechnology, which is being used in industry in commercialized state in nowadays. And also several research and development activities in the area of high gravity processing in a special center at Beijing University. They have taken initiative for this high gravity processing of this chemical engineering that's techniques, that is in China. And also microchannel based heat exchanger development, also several research has been done in that Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, USA, and also research in the field of microreactors in MIT, USA. They have taken initiative from 1990 is onward, though it has been actually on the research stage before that 1990s, but after 1990s they have almost actually came into a what is that matured stage on this particular process development, and it was commercialized in the market. Now commercial scale application in the industry until 1990s, what they were in the market, that like chemical companies such as the methyl acetate process of Eastern Chemicals, they have that produced this methyl acetate based on this microtechnology, based on this process intensification. And also hydrogen peroxide distillation system also has been developed, and it is in the market by that Sulzer. And also how to produce that hypochlorous acid by process intensification way, by sustainable development, that has been done by Dow Chemicals, and they have actually developed those processes, and now they are using those processes there. So this is the history that different process, how actually chemical engineering process can be intensified in different way. Now after 1990s, 20th century, what will happen, most of the effort was spent on that modeling, optimization and control. Those results in the well known onion skin technologies of the process development, like that reaction, how to improve the reaction, separation process, heat integration, process control, safety, etc. And from then onward, the thinking in terms of integrated equipment are now coming, because that if you reduce the number of equipments, then your process maybe will be that sustainable way, so that you can use less energy and also eco-friendly. Because if you use more number of equipments, you need to consume more energy, even sometimes the byproducts what will be coming out, even also that to run those equipments, you have to use several other chemicals parallelly in some specific processes. So in that case, it will not be economic and it will not be eco-friendly, and that is why the thinking of integrated equipment, like in a simple equipment you have to process more than one the techniques, and so that you can get the more products for that. In 21st century, you can see that fast growth in process intensification, that is related activities in both industry and the academia, and process intensification network also was launched in UK, Netherlands there. And process intensification traditionally tied up with the commodity, that chemical sector. In that case, they have that industry people try to tie up with the academic people to get this process intensification idea more intensified way, more sustainable way, and how to design those process. This from 21st century onward, that it is that the collaboration started. End of that 20th century and the beginning of the 21st century, it is seen that new areas such as bioprocessing and fermentation, how to intensify those processes, even how to produce the fine chemicals, that is in Dow Chemicals they are producing, even other chemical also, other industry also, they have started to produce that greener products of that chemicals. And from then onward, that the change of the definition of the process intensification started. So they have actually released different way of that expressing the process intensification based on that different idea, different that what should be the actually goal of that process intensification and how to do that. So combining all that idea, they have just expressing what should be the process intensification actually. And then onward, that the direction of the process intensification will come in terms of that improvement of the that equipment, just developing a novel equipment, processing techniques to be developed, even process development methods should be improved, even it will be compared to the conventional ones, so that how factor of that intensification can be obtained. And it should offer the substantial improvements in the manufacturing and the processing. So from then onward, the direction of the process intensification is coming in terms of that equipment, techniques, even methods development, even some other that eco-friendly process, even you know that whenever this development will be coming in the market, how to intensify the, you know, that policy that your products can be sold in the market and it will reach to the consumer in the best way, so that they can easily purchase those products, and they will be aware of those products. No, this is the greenery product, this is the product that is produced by process intensification. So based on this, the intensification of the process will be in terms of equipment, in terms of space, in terms of techniques, in terms of methods, in terms of policy, in terms of that idea. So this several way you can that intensify the process. The definition will then will come in that direction. Now what will the status then, today's status of that process intensification? Now this process intensification has or will have a major role to play in the future of chemical engineering, that we can say, because that 1556 onward that idea has come, you have to intensify the anyway process. No way that you should use that old process for producing the products, because those are not economic and those are not eco-friendly, because environmental impact is main concern nowadays. So that you have to produce the product in such a way that there should not be any bad impact on the environment. So as per a statement of Carpentier 2007, he told that the process intensification should be from the molecules to the money, and it should be in terms of processing, and the processing should be proposed in such a way that that's chemical engineering, mostly that main products, most of the products that is coming based on this chemical engineering process. So the chemical engineers should take a role in that concern of these molecules into money in such a way that they should drive today's economic development and wealth creation based on this that intensification process. Now what should be that then definition of that process intensification? In 1983, Ramshaw, he has given one statement for this definition of this process intensification. According to his, that he told that the devising an exceedingly compact plant which reduces both the main plant item and the installations cost will be the process intensification theory. Means here you have to devise the equipment in such a way that it should be very compact, it should be that in such a way installed that your space should be less, and also their number of equipment should be reduced in the main plant, and also there should be a less installation cost. So this is the main actually concept that is given by, that is Ramshaw as his definition. After that 1983, Hicks also, he has given some statement regarding this process intensification. It is the order of magnitude reductions in process plant and equipment. So this process intensification is the order of magnitude reductions in process plant and equipment. That means here you will see, that means the same statement, almost same, that he told that the process plant should be less spacious, and also that number of equipment should be less. So as per their definition, this process intensification like this. In 1986, later on, after again 3 years, you will see that Cross and Ramshaw again given the definition of the process intensification as, they told that this process intensification is a term that will be used to describe the strategy of reducing the size of the chemical plant needed to achieve a given production objective, to give the process plant in such a way that it will occupy the less space and give a more production. In 2000s, Stankiewicz and Mowley's proposed definition as any chemical engineering development that leads to a substantially smaller, cleaner and more energy efficient technology that should be a process intensification. So as per his definition also, it is very clear that the process intensification should be in such a way that it should be that means the process should be substantially smaller, cleaner and more energy efficient based technology. And these definitions of course restrict the process intensification to engineering methods and equipment and explicitly exclude the development of a new chemical route or the change in composition of the catalyst. That means here these definitions does not seem to give the method developments, and you know that new chemical route, it does not say that what should be the new chemical route, new chemical methodology, and how to change the composition of the catalyst which are being used for reactions. So, this definition. So, later on also those things to be actually considered as a process intensification. Now, in this case what remarks we can make, that the process intensification thus aims to drastic equipments, improvements in performance of a process by rethinking the process as a whole. So, this is given by Robert Franke in 2007, that he told that the process intensification should be aimed as improvements in performance of a process by rethinking the process as a whole. In particular, it can lead to the manufacture of new products which could not be produced by conventional process technology. So, in this case he told that if you are going to produce the new products, okay, so you cannot get that sustainable process development to produce these products by the conventional technology. So, you have to change that conventional process technology to get its process intensification and get its the final products, okay, the new products based on this process intensification. And then in view of this definition, modeling in process intensification also could include the employment of methods such as computer assisted organic synthesis or financial modeling software studies. Sometimes you will see in chemical engineering process, to analyze the process, how economic this process and also how optimized way this process can be developed or designed, that is required. So, in that way, to intensify the process, one should also include for this process intensification concept for the optimization process, and also computer based design of chemical engineering process, what is coming based on the process intensification way. Now, what is the philosophy of that then process intensification? The philosophy of the process intensification has been traditionally characterized by these few words like smaller, cheaper, safer, sleeker and sustainability. These 5 words should be very important for this process intensification. Smaller means you have to that procure some equipments very smaller. Nowadays that is why it is like it is coming macro to micro then nano. Cheaper, of course it would be cheaper because it should be more economic, it should not be consumed more energy for that, and so that the product should not be very pricious. So, in that case you have to produce the product in such way that your product should be cheaper. Safer also, whatever products you will be producing by this process intensification, that should be safer. That does not mean that whatever products is coming that should be hazardous, it will impact on your social health concern. So, it should be safer and also sleeker. Sometimes you will see that sometimes distillation column, you will see that big distillation column, you have to reduce that size of the distillation column to produce that or refine the oil. And also sustainability, you have to design that process in such a way that it will last for long time. Not like that, okay, only for 2 years, 3 years it will last, and later on you will see that this process is not actually working in a better way. So, it should be avoided. Not like that, you have to produce that process in such way or design a process in such way that should be long lasting, even it will be eco-friendly and economic. Equipment size, land use costs and process safety are among the most important process intensification incentives. So, you have to keep in mind that you have to intensify the equipment, you have to intensify the cost, you have to intensify the safety and also other process techniques. Vision of the process intensification, like here, like skyscraping distillation towards this towers, you know that I told that the distillation tower, big distillation tower, long distillation tower should be, you know, that replaced by a compact, clean and TD you know, indoor plant like this here. So this 2002 onward, this, you know, that distillation process are being intensified. Now how this process or how this plant to be intensified in a compact, clean and TD plant, that is the main goal in the process intensification field. So process intensification was the highest rated activity of the DSM company there. So according to this DSM, they have their vision like this from 2002 to 2000s, you know that there is no end when it will be coming in. So they are trying to, you know, that intensify the process to, you know, that skyscraping distillation towers to be replaced by the compact, clean and indoor plant. So in that case they are trying, and they are actually you know, they are following some you know, hand in rule like this triple P rule, like profit, planet, people, triangle, this method for their vision. And from this general vision or philosophy, you can say, of the process intensification, follow the concrete opportunities that process intensification offers to chemical entrepreneurs. And also you will see that opportunities that exist primarily in 4 areas like cost, safety, time to market, even the company image. So these are the main, you know, vision of these processes that is given by this VSM company. And also based on their visions, some concepts they have developed, that the PI concept first established at you know, Imperial Chemical Industries during the late 1970s, that when the primary goal was there to reduce the capital cost of a production system, to improve the intrinsic safety, even to reduce the environmental impact and energy consumption there. Now concept statement of Cross and Ramshaw 1986, they have given this concept that physical miniaturization of the process equipment while the retaining throughput and the performance. So this is the concept of statement of the process intensification that is given by Cross and Ramshaw. Again the Stankiewicz and Mouly's 2000s, they have given this statement for this concept of process intensification, as they told that the development of innovative apparatus and techniques that offer drastic improvements in chemical manufacturing and processing, substantially decreasing the equipment volume, energy consumption or waste formation, and ultimately leading to a cheaper, safer and sustainable technologies. So these are the concept they have given in their publication, that what should be the actually concept of process intensification. And some architecture they have given for this process intensification, like they have divided that process intensification area into first 4 parts, like integration of the operations, integration of the functions, integration of problems, even targeted enhancement of the phenomena as per their principles. What should be the principle of that process intensification? And then based on these principles, one of the principles, like integration of the operations, the main heart of this chemical engineering process, process intensification, and they have classified this process intensification of this integration operation into a reaction separation and also separation reaction in different way. They have actually classified this integration like this: reaction and separation should be at a time, separation and separation both should be in a compact way, separation and reaction should be both simultaneously will be working. And also you know that reaction separation, maybe you know that reaction distillation, maybe reaction extraction, maybe reaction par evaporation like this. Even reaction distillation will be like this: necessary conditions should be, you know, that compiled, even process properties to be known, even properties of the chemicals, even how to overcome the limitations of that process and how to improve that way. So for that knowledge hub is required for this. And also for the that reaction separation processes, there that intensified equipment should be required. And also that for improvements of those necessary conditions, process properties of the chemicals, and to overcome the limitations, you need to have certain parameters like capital cost, how to again then you have to use the less energy, operational cost, you have to use less that or that is economic way you have to develop those process. Even energy consumption should be low, waste should be in such way that should not be the hamper the environment. Even efficiency, you have to produce those products efficiently so that it should be eco friendly and also not injurious to the health. And that after that what you have to do, that analysis of this improvement, you have to go to the goal based on the validation process system, even reaction information, even that other parameters you have to consider to go to that final stage of this process intensification method. Some classification of this process intensification methods are given here, like that equipment methods. If we classify in this way, if we classify the equipment as equipment for the carrying out chemical reactions, equipment for operations not involving chemical reactions, even some methods should be developed in such a way that multifunctional reactors should be there, hybrid separations can be developed, even alternatives energy sources, even that other methods to be developed based on this process intensification. Now some improved or some that as per process intensification, some equipments are developed like this spinning disk reactor, a static mixer reactor, static mixing catalyst, even monolithic reactors, micro reactors, heat exchange, even supersonic gas liquid reactor, jet impinging reactor, even rotating packed bed reactor, some static mixture for the improving the mixing process, compact heat exchanger, micro channel heat exchanger for increasing the heat transfer, even rotor stator mixers also, rotating packed beds to get the that more interfacial area and more contact, even centrifugal adsorber to intensify the separation process. Even sometimes some other processes like this reverse flow reactors, reactive distillation, reactive extraction, that means conjugation of the reaction as well as crystallization, that chromatographic reactors, periodic separating reactors, membrane reactors, even to separate that fine particles by these membrane reactors, reactive extrusion to produce that polythene, even reactive that comminution, sometimes that to reduce the size of the particles you have to use this comminution process. So for that sometimes reactive comminution also nowadays very interesting, and it gives the process intensification. And fuel cells also important, membrane absorption, membrane distillation, adsorptive distillation, those are under process intensification. Those processes are coming based on that intensification of the process, like centrifugal fields, even ultrasound. Nowadays huge application of this ultrasound, solar energy, how to utilize that natural source of energy from the solar, that how to use those process, even microwaves, electric fields, phase technology, plasma technology, supercritical fluids, even dynamic reactor operation, how to all those things. So all are coming in the process intensification. So all those processes developed based on this certain that process design, and these are of course developed for the intensify the process. And I would suggest to read further regarding this introduction of this process intensification, even more details also you can get more information. I would suggest to read those here given this textbook for the process intensification. You can follow my book also here is Majumdar Hydrodynamics and Transport Process of Inverse Bubbly Flow. This is one of the important way to produce the process of chemical engineering for gas liquid process to get more retention time for the chemical reaction as well as physical operations. In this lecture we have gone through some that brief history of the process intensification, what should be the classification and what are the concept and definition of the process intensification. So, it will be helpful for you. So, next class onward or next lecture onward, we will describe or discuss something more about that process intensification as per course content. Thank you.